Hi there, Bradley again. I'm going to geek out a little bit. Just listen to a CBC show that's on science called Quirks and Quarks, which sounds like pretty the geekiest name you could ever imagine. But it's a good show, very informative. And I'm going to talk a little bit about quantum theory again and some interesting stuff that they found recently. Quantum theory is basically the fact that on things on the subatomic level, very, very small, like atoms, behave in certain ways, which is very peculiar. For instance, sometimes they can be two places at once, and in fact, a million places at once, particles, electrons, stuff like this. And then they'll find that easiest way and react with each other, which, defies everybody's modern conception of the real world. So a lot of people have thought that quantum theory was basically just this geeky kind of science that explained how stuff happened and that it had no value. But, there's several things that have evolved out of quantum theory. One would be television. Another would be like cell phones or smartphones. Another would be computers and the internet. They're all there because of quantum theory. So yeah, it has a real impact on our life, even pagers, radio, stuff like that. So anyway, but they thought that these things only happened on the atomic level. Basically, a really good conception would be a hydrogen atom, which two of them combines with one oxygen atom and makes this very useful thing called water, what we call H2O. And that means two hydrogen atoms combined with oxygen molecule and form water, which, we all need to live. Now, in the conception of an atom of, say, oxygen or hydrogen, let's go with hydrogen because it's very simple. There's a nucleus, both this, and then surrounding it is an electron that's just circling it, as they put in the diagrams. But, the distance, even on a small scale, between the nucleus and where the electron is vast. It's huge, like in terms of where they relatively are. And people were wondering how it was so easy for two hydrogen molecules to combine with oxygen and form water. And quantum theory was stated the fact that the electron was at all possible points at once. And same with the oxygen. And they found the most convenient way and went and joined. And people thought, okay, that's very good on the subatomic level, whatever. But recently, in a study a few years back, they took some bacterium and found that the bacterium, which are very simple organisms, and this is biology. Now you've gotten into bigger things. It's not subatomic. It's not atoms. It's like actual organisms, like we are. And they were using quantum theory in order to become 100% photosynthesis competent. Basically, photons, which are waves that come down, they were projecting all the million places they could be, and then picking the ones where it would work every time. And they did this test, and admittedly, they lowered the temperature of the bacterium to a very, very low temperature, which no self-respecting bacterium would survive at, just so they could monitor the results. And they were very surprised that this organism was using quantum theory in its survival methods. Okay, this is getting really way out there. This is all the stuff I heard on the radio. And then, so recently, they got some algae, some green algae, basically green slime, in Toronto, and they did this test again. But they did it at room temperature, because basically most organisms like it when it's hot and wet. Who doesn't? Okay? And they did a test again and found that these ones were doing it at 100%. So they were basically choosing the path of where things were going to go, and that it would all happen good for it. And boom, they were surviving. They were moving forward. Now, I know you've met people like this in your life. They're the fuckers who, you can't believe their incredible luck. They're like the kind of guys who drive around drunk all the time, never got stopped by the cops. Or if somebody's trying to mug them, all of a sudden they step on the rake, but instead of the rake hitting them, it flies behind him and hits the mugger right behind him, knocks him out, and turns around. He doesn't even know. But he is probably using quantum theory to stumble through life. And yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff when you get into the concepts of all the shit of quantum theory, and as related to bigger biological organisms like ourselves, or like a horse who races perfect all the time, who always makes the jump, never breaks a leg. You got to think that those ones are a little more in tune with quantum theory, which is like another couple points, and this is in occult theory and esoteric knowledge. As they say, when you change the way you look at things, things will change, meaning for the better. You can approach it with that attitude. And also, as above, so below. And they're not talking about heaven and earth here. They're talking about the big biological world of us, the subatomic world, quantum theory. That's my theory. Hope you like it.